Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Before starting my video, if you didn't subscribe my channel, please do, and do not forget to turn on notifications as I'm sharing great content for you all the time. Now it's time to continue with infrastructure section for second video of authentication authorization. Alright, so let's start with let me have a look quickly. Let's go create a new configuration. So let's go to configuration section in your infrastructure assembly and create a new class which is called app user configuration. Just a basic configuration just for full name. If you remember, we add a validation attribute for full name in our register DTO, and I defined is as a required and max than 25. Just add this one and let's use Ctrl RG. There is a redundant namespace here. Perfect. This is our configuration. I'm just closing quickly. The second one, these are migrations. We will do migrations once we complete all of them, but let's keep it for a while. So let's have a look. Do we have any changes? Outbox messages. Let me have a quick look. All right. This is a quick fix, by the way, in our outbox. In our lesson, we do outbox messaging. If you remember, we had an issue to selecting our outbox messages. The first one is we were selecting the processed on UTC is null. The first one was like that, but if it's not work on error, how can I say, the outbox attempt which they have exception, so they have an error, so I switch it to error is not null, but this causes another issue for initial start. So basically I add both of them. If the process on UTC is null, which meaning if it's an initial start, or if the error is not null, which is an exception, and trying again and again. So we are just selecting all of them. Alright, let's fix this issue and continue. Let's close this case as well. We're going to create our token services, but before creating token services, it's going to take a lot. I will show you what kind of changes did we appdb context and service register first. But before that, let me have a look at my infrastructure, what I did here. Okay, we added JWT barrier token here. You can go manage to get package and you can add this library to your project, or while you're creating your token service, when it comes to use the JWT barrier, you can add manually. It's up to you guys. Let's close it. I would like to show you, actually, let's go to Solution Explorer, right click on infrastructure, manage to get packages, click the installed. You can just click the browser and type here. Where is the JWT token? There, yeah, this is the library what we need, and please use 8.0.11 version. So this is what we need in infrastructure project, and you can check if it's the correct one. Just double click it. Oops, just double click it. Yeah, this is the, where is the JWT? Yeah, this is the package we include in our project. Perfect. All right, the package is added. Now let's continue appdb context. Yeah, we did many changes here. Let me have a quick look. Processed auto-seed. Okay, we did process auto-seed data in our previous lesson. I just didn't merge it separately. Let's open it. All we need to do is add so the original one was just DB context, but now we switch it to identity DB context, and we defined the classes what we gave, app user and app role, and we gave the key used for this user and code, which they are going to be created. Excuse me. After implementing identity DB context, we are adding this identity DB context because if you remember, there were lots of actually you didn't see them yet. Once we do migration, you will understand what I'm meaning. We have lots of table going to be included, and you will able to see all of them once we do our migration. But let's try to see, go to definition if there is a specification, and let's see, are we able to see the definitions. Let's collapse the definitions. So identity DB context option. Let me have a look quickly. So this is identity DB context. Let's have a look this. Let's have a look that. I guess they are coming from another place. All right. We're not able to see the table names, but basically there are 6 or 7 table, I'm assuming, coming through to identity DB context, and it's for just identity library. All right. Let's continue, and we did changing about our domain events. Let's do fixing in your add domain event as OSPOC messages. It must be a base entity normally, but now we are not no more looking base entities. We are now looking domain event raiser. And if you do that, if you forget to change this domain event raiser, your domain event won't be saved anymore. Please careful to add this domain event raiser. Alright, appdb context section is completed. Let's continue the service register. Let me have a look what I did. So we add identity, and we have lots of definition here. Let's close it. Let's open the file, and let's go through what we did. So I just created a new private class. This is iService collection, and call this add identity. So I'm just passing through the service and configuration because I need all of them. All I need to do is add identity core, and you will able to add this method if you load the library, identity library. Please be careful, you 100% add your library to your project. And we are going to define app user, and we're going to give our specifications about the user. So there are lots of different definitions. You can just type here opt dot and select the properties. If you can see, there are lots of different options you can customize. For example, if you go sign in dot, and you will able to see, just do not forget to click the property section. For example, you can add a customization for a required confirmed email. So if you type is true, which is default is false, as you can see, look the description, default to false. If you set it true while you doing login process, the user required confirmation email column must be true. So for now I'm going to delete it, I'm not going to use it, but we're going to go, I'm not going to go through the all option right now. After I finish this service, I'm going to create a new massive authentication and authorization project tutorial. Actually, it's going to be more likely to be a lesson, but we do a project tutorial for that. So I'm going to show you how to use all the details in that section. You believe me, the identity library and identity server has a massive different features and options able to use. I'm going to show you in this project just what we need, and it's going to be enough for this project as well. Okay, so I'm adding the add roles as an app role because they are defined by myself, and I'm adding these two classes into my identity library. And I'm for entity framework, I'm just giving my DB context. This is my core settings for identity library. Then we're going to have some token settings. I'm just going to ignore for now actually let's put those just down and let's go step by step. Control K. Okay, then I'm going to add my authentication settings. Let me have a look. This comes from, yeah, this is why I added the JWT bearer. As you can see, there is a class, there is a library we're using, authentication JWT bearer. Is it the same one? Let's check. Yeah, Microsoft ASP.NET Core Authentication JWT bearer. Okay, perfect. That's why we added this library, because we're using JWT bearer default token. Okay, let's now add our authentication settings. So basically I'm using add authentication and I'm going to define an option. So let's get on the inside and we need to define default authentication. I did at same time, so it must be the challenge scheme, guys. It's my fault. Okay, the default authentication scheme must be the bearer default authentication scheme. You can type it manually as a bearer, but I strongly suggest you to using const classes. It just make it more type safe. So basically it says our authentication scheme will be a bearer, and the challenge scheme same as well. So we're going to use bearer for challenge scheme. Then our authentication is going to use JWT bearer. So we're going to define this scheme. We're going to add this scheme section. So basically we are just matching this authenticating scheme with the challenge scheme. That's why we added challenge scheme and JWT token. Okay, let me explain again. So once we added default authenticate scheme, we add a default challenge scheme. The challenge scheme is matching with the authentication scheme comes from our options, which is add JWT bearer. Okay, let's add the options. So we're going to, I want them to save token true, and we need to define token validation parameters. Just for now, all of them I made it false. Validate issue, validate audience, to make our tests much more fast. When you pass your project to production, you need to switch them through, which is quite important and deadly important. And we have validate issue signing key must be true. I'm going to explain what they are when we come to token service. You will understand why we are defining those settings. And issue signing key, so we are using symmetric security key and using encoding UTF-8 bytes, and we are using JWT secret in our appsettings.json. I'm gonna show, actually I'm not gonna wait for API section, API video. I'm just gonna show you to our app settings because it's 100% related in these services, because I'm using option pattern as well here. I'm going to show you how we getting our options from appsettings.json. So validate is going to be lifetime set it false, but it must be true. I'm just making our life more easier for testing. So we're going to have validate, valid issue, valid audience from our appsettings.json to this class. All right, so these are JWT bearer options for our authenticate, and this is the services. I just add my token service and token services here. I'm just registering them to dependency injection container, but do not forget use transient, because we are defining we are creating refresh tokens each time we just calling these methods. So I want them all to be unique, so I'm using transient yeah, transient method basically. Let's get into this option pattern. So what is option pattern, guys? Now I will go to my appsettings.json development, obviously, and please add this section to your project. This is your audience, this is your issuers, this is your secret. So token validation in minutes, refresh token validation in days. We're going to use this token validation and refresh token in our services. So I'm just ignoring to what they are for now. So we're going to use those parameters to validate or create our tokens. Okay. The secret, this is going to your sign-in key, guys. So basically just go web page and just type here create sign-in key. Must be a couple of site or let's say create key. Great, I forgot how I found my sign key. Okay, create sign key. Is that the one? I forgot how I created. So basically, this is the 64-bit key. We can use ChatGPT as well. Let's have a look. Let's go to ChatGPT and ask, hello, can you create me a 64-bit key? Just waiting. No, not you. Alright, I'm gonna stop the video for a second to find that URL for you guys. Give me a second. I guess I found, let's go to the browser again. The correct keyword is generate secret key. Yep. I guess I used, is that the one? Yeah, I just clicked the generate and here we go. Your secret key has been created and it's all copied to your clipboard, and I'm just using it as a secret. Alright, so it's going to be a kind of security service for JWT token, and we're going to use that secret key to create our sign-in key. Perfect. Then let's go back our register. If you can see, we're using iConfiguration and we are typing here the path for the data, but it is okay for the register section. But in our services, I don't like implement inject iConfiguration and using this kind of string basis data usage. So that's why I'm using the option pattern. So basically what I'm doing, I create a token setting class. Let's have a look. I create a token setting class in my infrastructure. Let me have a look. Yep. I just create a new folder underneath services, which is called token providing, and I'm going to create my token service here. And please create your token settings file here as well. And this is just a basic DTO class, and exactly I type the same naming with the appsettings.json, and be careful, it must be the same, it must have the same naming. Audience issuer secret, blah blah blah. As you can see, I just use them all. Let's close it now, and this settings, this option, just copying the data located in our appsettings.json using that getSection method, and this is the JWT, this is the title of our JSON data, and it's just deserializing it to token settings. So we able to use these data in our classes by doing a couple of extra operation, but I'm gonna show them when it came to use in our services. Perfect. So we, in this section, we add our identity settings, then we add our authentication and authentication settings, validation settings, and how we going to authenticate people to our application. Then we register our service, but we didn't create yet. I'm just showing how to do it. Please do not forget after you create your services. And we add our token settings. We will going to use them in our token service. Okay, let's close everything now. Let me save everything. Let's close everything. And let's create your token service. Here we go. But before your token service, I will go to application section quickly. Let's go abstraction and create another folder which is called token providing, and create your iToken service interface. It is going to be interface, and these are methods we need to use in our token service, and we're going to implement these methods, and we're going to fill the bodies in infrastructure section. Basically, we're going to create token, we're going to generate refresh token, we're going to principal for expired token. Basically, it's a kind of validation. After validation, we're going to get the principal of the token, and this is a small method to get a refresh token expired date using the date, using the expiration time span in our appsettings.json. Okay, once you add this interface, let's get back to our token service in our infrastructure, and please implement your token service, iToken service, to your class, and please implement user manager and iOption token settings. Here we go. This is our option pattern, the last step. So basically use iOptions and add a variable your token settings. Okay, while you're defining your read-only private fields for token settings, you only need to give the token options value. So token options value is going to your token settings anymore. Perfect. Actually everything's go perfectly fine. Let's continue to create our token. To create our token, let me close all of them first, just a second. Probably your class empty like this. All you need to do is implement your interface and all will be empty, and please try to fill all of them step by step with me. I'll do the explanation, you fill the bodies. Okay, let's use Control Z. Perfect. Now collapse all definitions. Let's go step by step. First one is create token, and it's going to be a synchronic method, and it's returning JWT security token. So first of all, we need to actually this is not quite very understandable. First of all, I'm gonna show you to create token. The purpose of this create token is creating token, right? Let me show you. Let's make them command line, and let's try to create a security token first and see what's gonna happen. As you can see, to create a security token, we need a couple of parameters do we need to provide for security token to create a new one. So first one is issuer, and issuer coming from our token options. Here we go, we just created, and the issuer, and issuer must be, let me have a look, our development JSON. The issuer is going to be this one, this HTTP localhost 5001, and the audience is coming from appsettings.json as well. This is how we using option pattern, guys. We using properties instead of typing string based variables, so it is much more type safe way. It's best method to use a settings come from your app settings.json. Okay, expires. You need to give the expire for token, so we need to use token validation in minutes. So basically, token is creating now, right? So only I need to do is how many minutes you need to add as an extra for create a new date type. So I'm using token in validation in minutes property in my token options. In these circumstances, the validation is going to be just 15 minutes for access token. Yeah. Alright, so we define issue audience expires, and all we need to do is define claims. So what is those claims? The claims, when we send our JWT token, we would like to send the roles, we would like to send the ID, we would like to send any data you would like to use in your project. But in our project, we're going to send the ID, we're going to send the email, we're going to send the roles, because we're going to make a role-based authentication. That's because we need to create our claim. So claims is required enumerable claim. So let's create a list of claim and let's create our claims. So to do that, I used here. So I create a new list claim. So it will be okay. If you create a list claim, it is going to use enumerable, because list using enumerable interface anyway. So in this list claim, I create a new claim, and first of all I create a GTI, and each claim, as you can see, it requires a type and value. All of them is using type and value. So type is the GTI, and we just define a new GUID. The second one is an identifier, which is an ID. I'm using all the type constants, because if you don't use constants, it's quite you need to do manual converts when it came to using them. And please always try to use those claim types and claim names. For the email, I'm using JWT registered claim names constant to email. As a value, I'm using user email and user ID. Okay, so how we get the user, because as a parameter we gave the user. So when it comes to use this create token in our handler in application, we're going to pass through the user, we're going to pass the roles, we're going to able to create our claims. Okay, so first claim section has been done, but roles as a list, we're going to add all the roles step by step, but we need to use the for each. That's because I used that section. So I'm just iterating all roles, and I use add method and use a new claim, and the key is going to be claim types role, and the role is basically the role. Yeah, perfect. After all, we need to define the claims is done. The next one is we need to define our signing key, which is signing credentials. To create a signing credentials, first of all, let's create our key. We are using symmetric security key, using encoding UTF-8 bytes, and using our secret comes from appsettings.json, and I'm giving that key. Let's have a look. This is symmetric security key. I'm giving this key to create a signing credentials parameter, and we're going to use security algorithm SHA-256. So our token now created, and let me have a look. Yeah, do not forget add your claims to your user, by the way, because when you go to user table, you will see you need to see those claims in your user table. Okay, let me have a look quickly. Should I do anything else? Okay, the create tokens section is completed perfectly fine, and let's go to generate refresh token. To be honest, this is just creating 64-bit random number. This is a how can I say, easy. You can just, if you just type to ChatGPT anyway, you're able to see how can you create a generate refresh token. It's just easy method. I just memorize it and I'm just using, I'm not chasing a logic behind this. We're just creating a generate refresh token, use random number generated, and we are converting it to base 64 string. That's all we do, and we're going to use that refresh token to get a new access token in our handler. This is the claims principle. We're going to validate our access token when it came to use generate any token using my refresh token. So basically we just create any validation parameter, same as what we did in our service register. We are applying the same rules here, and we just create a new token handler and validating this token. The token comes from the parameter, and the validation, we just created it, and as a result we are resulting a security token. If this security token is not valid, so we need to log in again. So it means, because we're going to use this get principal from expired token while we're trying to get an access token using a refresh token. So if this security token is not valid, so the user need to log in, use their login credentials to get an access token. I mean, that's why I'm creating this invalid token exception, and which is created by us in our previous lesson. And as a result, we can return our principal now if we have a valid token. Alright, get refresh token expiration. We just creating a new date time using refresh token validation in dates in our application appsettings.json. Perfect. I'm assuming you understand our token service as well. After we create token services, let me have a look. Should I add anything else? Get changes. Yeah, we need to do our migration. All you need to do is now, guys, switch your application, but make sure yourself your application is, there is no build failure. If there is a build failure, you can, due to our changes now, if you have a validation build errors, you can temporarily disable them to make your migration, or you can wait at the end of our project, our feature to be finished. When it comes to test, you can, just before test, you can do your migration. Okay, let's switch your application to YouTube API, Clean API. Do not select compose. Let's go to package manager console, select your infrastructure assembly, and type here add migration. You can give any name for your migration, and once you do it, you're going to receive you're going to receive, let me have a look. Yeah, you will receive this section. As you can see, we have lots of table appeared here. Yeah, so let's have a look. First one is ASP.NET roles. So this table keeping the roles, and also you will have the AutoSeed data somewhere here, because I did my migration separately, but you will do all of them in one go. You will see all of them in one migration, and do not get a surprise, you will see your AutoSeed changes in this migration. Alright, let's have a look at ASP.NET users. As you can see, there are lots of properties. I showed you all of them in our previous lesson. What kind of columns do we have in ASP.NET users table? And we add full name, refresh token, and refresh token expired date here. These are manually added by us using app user entity, and the max line is 25. The nullable is false. The other ones and nullable are true. This is what we added, and as you can see, we have lots of tables comes with this library. Just leave them as it is, as they are, because this is default tables comes automatically coming with the identity library. And when I start my new project about these authentication and libraries, I'm gonna show you all of them step by step, one by one, and you will be master of authentication and authorization in ASP.NET Core. Perfect. So we did our migration, and all you need to do is update database, and your changes will be saved to DB. Let me close everything, and let's save all of them. As I told you before, if you get a build failure, because I don't remember which part of my process I did my migration, I don't remember it, but I'm now showing you in a different order to make you much more understandable. If you get a build error due to our changes, make them temporary disable, or you can revert your changes once you did your migration, or wait until we finished our all changes related to this feature, because it's quite a big feature for this lesson. Alright, the configuration section done, migration done, small bug fix done in Outbox, tokens, services completed, context fixed, service register done, and please do not, we add our token service, please do not forget add, where is my, yeah, do not forget to add your services into dependency injection containers. Libraries are added. Perfect. It's been 37 minutes. I'm gonna finish this lesson here. Please crush the like button and drop comment below the video. I really need that to improve my channel across the whole YouTube world. Take care of yourselves. See you on next lesson. Bye bye guys.